So the question of this podcast is, are you an early bird or a night owl?
Now, this is a very interesting topic to me, and I know there's different people have different opinions on this, but I think maybe the first thing we should do is maybe go into detail about what that actually means. Like, what are the differences between those two things, and yeah, what does the expression mean?
Okay.
So, what's the expression mean, Dan?
Well, early bird is someone who likes to get up early, start the day early, nice and fresh. The old early bird catches the worm, I think, comes from that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And night owl is someone who's the opposite of that, someone who operates better in the evening and is, by default, is not a morning person.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, fundamentally, we're talking about routines and preferences. And I know people tend to prefer one or the other, really, I think, in my experience. So, Dan, I mean, what would you say that your preference is then? Are you a night owl or are you an early bird?
You see, I've got a bit in both camps on this one, James.
Uh-huh.
I am an early bird these days, but I am a former night owl.
I see. Well, that's it, because you don't have to be one or the other. I know people generally like one or the other, but it can change over time and people have different routines nowadays. So so a night owl, used to be a night owl. What would you say then that maybe some of the good things are about having that routine where you stay up late and maybe wake up a bit later? There are certain things that are better about that?
See, what I did enjoy about my night owl life was everything was very calm. Because by the time you're up and about and you're doing your work, be it work or anything else that you prefer to do at night when everyone else is asleep, there is this absolute calmness in the air. If you open up your windows, no sound whatsoever. It's very relaxing. It's almost as if you're putting on some classical music, but without having to put on the classical music. It's so relaxing.
It does sound quite chilled, actually. Yeah, I like the idea of that.
But in comparison to the daytime, like when you're transitioning from night owl to early bird, you notice how loud the day is. The traffic.
I see. Yeah, people, I suppose so.
And you're like, and it can be almost deafening at first. It's like, I'm not used to this. I just want to chillax and chill out, but I can't because it's the day.
Now, you see, I'm very much the opposite. I am very much an early bird, and I always have been ever since I was young, really. I've always preferred getting up early and getting on with the day. And one thing I'd like to ask you, actually, Dan, is that if you're a night owl, but you still need to get up early to go to work or to get on with your routine, are you not just very tired all the time if you're staying up late and then still having to wake up early in the morning?
You see, the night owl lifestyle is a hard one to maintain, especially when you have a job that is in what you call regular hours of the day.
The 9 to 5, yes.
It's when it comes to hitting that snooze button, it can become quite dangerous of being late for work. So this is the main reason why I moved from being a night owl to an early bird, because of work.
Yes, well, that's the thing, isn't it? And I think one benefit I find actually about waking up early, I find it to be a lot more productive. You wake up in the morning and you feel energized and you feel productive and you can get on with your day and you've got lots of energy. And then most of your tasks are done early on, which is great. And I know a lot of people find as well, it's a great time to go out and do things like exercise, or, they go for a run before work, or some people go for a swim, and I think a lot of people find it very kind of invigorating, and it's a productive, good thing to do, to wake up early and get going with your day. And I quite like that. It does feel quite productive.
Yes, waking up at the crack of dawn, it feels more natural than being a night owl. It feels, like you say, you're more productive. You get through things quicker in the day, or you have that, you feel that you do, because you've started the day with the sun.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you bring this up, actually, Dan, because I've been reading some studies that apparently, if you're an early bird, you're more in sync with the Earth's natural cycles. So as humans, we have circadian rhythms, which are what dictate our sleep patterns and our rest that we get during the night. And apparently, they are much, much better at getting you a proper night's sleep and a good night of rest if you wake up early, because they're more in sync with nature and the sun and the birds. And so I thought it was quite interesting that apparently being an early bird is better for you in terms of health and rest and energy levels. This brings me on to my next point then, I suppose, really. Are there any disadvantages then to being an early bird and waking up early? I can think of a few. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, my main one is if you wake up, if you are an early bird person and you wake up cheery, then sometimes you can offend other people greatly with your cheeriness.
Oh, if you're too enthusiastic about getting the day started and...
Yeah, you wake up, good morning, Mr. Sun, good morning, everyone at the bus stop, and everyone's just like...
Shut up, I'm trying to sleep.
Why are you so happy?
Oh, yeah, I can definitely empathize with that. I know people that get very frustrated with me early in the morning when I've got lots of energy. Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. The other thing I can definitely think of is if you're an early bird, then that also means that you like to get an early night's sleep. That's part of the rhythm of your day and your energy and whatever. And I don't know if you find this, Dan, but I find myself falling asleep early in the company of people who are night owls in the evening, and they get really annoyed at me. So I don't know, I'll be trying to watch a film or something, and I'll end up falling asleep, and I'm not the best company.
Yes, I can relate to that. There are some times where you go, oh, I wish I was a little bit more of a night owl so I could stay up past 10 o'clock and
exactly,
and not yawn in the pub when everyone else is full of beans, and you're like, I need to go home. It's I should have been in bed half an hour ago.
I spent all my energy on that run this morning and being all productive, and now I'm sleepy. Yeah. This is the story of my life. It's a real problem. Apparently, if you're an early bird, you are in terms of productivity anyway, like we're talking about, you're in good company. Dan, can you name anyone who is an early bird? Any famous people?
I'm going to guess people who are into fitness are generally up early. This is what I hear. Maybe The Rock.
Dan, I don't know about that. I couldn't possibly say about The Rock, but it's not just people that are into fitness. Apparently, some of the most successful musicians, CEOs, people in business, politicians a lot of the time are early birds. So this is proof, apparently, that waking up early is good for your productivity and you can achieve great things. So apparently the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, is an early bird. Winston Churchill was famously an early bird. And Bob Dylan as well.
Oh.
So the idea is, I think, that if you wake up early, you have time to think and you have time to create things and you have time to come up with these ideas. And so there you go. There's the evidence that suggests that actually it's quite good for you to achieve things early on in the day, even if it means you fall asleep at 10 at night. see,
I would gladly fall asleep at 10 at night if it meant me getting a proper day in. I'd rather go to bed at 10 than go to bed at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. No, well, I think on that, we are probably on the same page, Dan. I think we might agree.
Find your English voice with iqglobal. Go to our website, www.iqglobal.com, to find out more.